Hello, my name is Amanda Hanson, and I chose to do a formal lecture on sensory stimulation and dementia. So what is sensory stimulation? Sensory stimulation is anything that encourages the use of your senses. This can include sight, touch, smell, taste, or hearing. Some of the more popular examples are music, cooking, looking and talking about pictures, but also consider reading aloud, touching different fabrics, tasting different foods, massage therapy, animal therapy, aromatherapy. There are many more, and finding the right fit for your client is key. So what has current research told us? There was a research study done on the short-term effects of multisensory stimulation. This took place over 4 weeks. There was 8 sessions, and each session was about 30 minutes. What they found was that there was improved moods in the clients. There was less behavior that was considered challenging for safety and communication. This includes anger, confusion. More spontaneous speech was done, and we're very social creatures, so speech and communication is very important in our emotional and psychological well-being. They also found that there was more alertness to the surroundings and people around them. Just note that this was short-term effects. They did not study any of the long-term effects. A different research study wanted to look at noise and light in regards to sleeping. They found that it is very important to keep it balanced when it comes to stimulation. Too much or too little of either will have a negative impact on sleeping. They found with proper light stimulation, they can sleep longer, 60 minutes on average actually, and it reduced incidences of sundowning, which is restless walking in the evening or at night. A different research study wanted to look at audio-visual cues, specifically with the lunch meal time. What they did was they put down a yellow tablecloth, a vase of flowers, and played some music, and this allowed the clients in the nursing home to realize that it was lunchtime. However, they weren't able to determine what they had for lunch or had any memories of discussions at lunch, but perhaps with further research, they could look at something that would allow, or any kind of variable change to allow this to happen. In all the research studies, actually, all of the conclusions said that further research is needed, so this is definitely something that is open and needs to be looked into further. So how can it benefit us as caregivers? A Norwegian study wanted to look at sensory stimulation and any improvements in nursing and client relationships. Nurses reported that they had a better understanding of who the individual living with dementia is. So they found that they were caring for the person rather than the disease. They knew the backgrounds, they knew the likes, and it gave an emotional connection between them. As we've seen, it can lead to redirecting a client to an activity that is more optimal and can help with daily living activities. This is very important because you don't want to force somebody into something that you consider necessary. So by creating this emotional connection, they found that it was a lot easier to get them to do the daily living activities. They also reported an increase in the ability to read and understand nonverbal communication. They were able to read their clients better because they kind of knew what to look for, non-verbally especially. This also embraces our person-centered care beliefs. This is about the person, about what they need. I would even say that sometimes it even touches on the person-directed care. So, like I said before, they did mention that they had better relationships with the clients overall, and this led to better satisfaction with their job because they felt that they were giving better overall care and more satisfaction. So I'm going to play a clip from a short video. This is Henry, and it just looks at the impact of music to this individual specifically.
we first see Henry inert, maybe depressed, unresponsive, and almost unalive.
Henry.
Yeah?
Henry.
Yes, Joe.
I found your music. You want your music now? Okay. Let's try your music, okay? And then you tell me if it's too loud or not.
Then he is given an iPod containing, we know, his favorite music. And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression. His eyes open wide. He starts to sing, to rock, and to move his arms, and he's being animated by the music.
And he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
The philosopher Kant once called music the quickening art, and Henry is being quickened.
So I felt this was a very good video because you can definitely see the impact of music right away. Like you said, more alert. It does go into an interview with Henry, and you can see that his responses are longer. He's talking in like an upbeat voice. He has better understanding of kind of what's going on around him, and it's really a fantastic video, and I highly recommend watching it if possible. So how to use sensory stimulation? Well, we want to use familiar objects. You wouldn't give woodworking tools to somebody that's never done it before. Technology is very useful, but again, you want to be careful to make sure that it is simple and easy to use, such as she started the iPod for him in Henry's video. Same kind of in the future, but with many of the newer generations coming to age where they're going to be starting to get affected by dementia, they may be able to use more of the iPads and computers and stuff. So that's something definitely to look forward to. We don't want to overstimulate with too many stimulants. This would be, listening to loud music and then having them try to concentrate on doing like a small task using like feeling. You also want to limit choices in what they can do. You don't want to get them overwhelmed with confusion. It may lead to maybe not the best emotions coming, and we definitely want them to have good emotions coming forward when they're doing sensory stimulation. Always treat them as an adult with respect. You wouldn't give a baby toy to an adult or talk to them as if they were a baby. Talking complete sentences. Let's see. You don't also want to complicate it in too many instructions at one time. One step at a time is best. If you recall from a previous video with cooking, one step at a time. Once that step is completed, then you can move on to the next one. Make it something that they're interested in. Again, with cooking, I hate cooking. I've never been good at it. And I'm sure if I ever have dementia and they try to get me into cooking, I'm not going to like it, and it's not going to be useful to me. Another point I want to make is stimulation does not mean excitement. You can use sensory stimulation in a calming way, calm music, just touching fabrics for something to use their hands for. So it's definitely something to look into for both alertness and also for calming. Final thoughts is that it's easy to incorporate into daily care. It doesn't have to be in a structured setting in a nurse or like a group setting. It can be individually. It could be helping fold the laundry and feeling different fabrics in the laundry. Also, clients may surprise you with what they can do. One example in the research study for the relationships was that, they found that massage touch allowed them to have an emotional connection to one of the clients, and she actually started to eat a lot better, and they didn't think that she would be able to. It's not going to cure or reverse dementia, but the impact on the meaningfulness of life is definitely what we're striving for. And this can be used at any stage of dementia, just because each task can be unique and to the client, that it may not be, cooking may not be good for everybody, but touching fabrics or massage may be. So these are the references that I used, and thank you very much.